Kathy Hawk brings them out for the opener, and here they are. One is Power Stroke, owned by Jack and Betty McCall with Mike Wilder. 2 Tricked Again, owned by John Sugar. Jim Daly drives. 3 Especially Rare is owned by Jerry Timmons with Kane Kaufman. 4 Red Energy is owned by William Silcott, Jack Daly on the bike. 5 is Fred Johnson, owned by Bob Griffith with Trent Tharps. 6 Homegrown is owned by Dick and Betty Brandt with David Myers. 7 is Talented Sam, owned by the 5 Carat Stable with Ryan Holton. 8 Firebird is owned by Teresa Carter with Steve Carter. 9 Shad Valley is owned by Darrell Lambert with Jeff Smith. 10 Expensive Ab is owned by Bob and Paul Ann Sidley with Brad Henners. 7 minutes to the opener. They're off. Red Energy from the center. Power Stroke at the rail. Tricked Again gets away in third. Outside Homegrown is fourth. Expensive Ab drives through from fifth. Gap of 2 Especially Rare, followed by Fred Johnson. Next in line, we have Talented Sam, Shad Valley, and Firebird is last. Around the far turn to the top of the stretch. Red Energy on a short lead, but Mike Wilder and Power Stroke pulled the pocket early on him. 2.5 lengths back to Expensive Ab. Homegrown is on the move early on. Next in line, we come down to Tricked Again, followed by Especially Rare and Fred Johnson, opening quarter 28-4. Passing the stands for the first time, and it's Power Stroke on the lead. Power Stroke leaked it by a length and a quarter. Red Energy ran up into the leader and is now off stride. Homegrown into second. Now Expensive Ab is third. Gap of 2 lengths back. Tricked Again is racing in fourth. 2 clear of Especially Rare fifth. Next in line, we have Fred Johnson, followed by Talented Sam, Firebird, Shad Valley, and now trailing but back pacing is Red Energy. Around the turn over to the half-mile pole, it's Power Stroke leading the way. Homegrown dropped nicely into the pocket second, and now Expensive Ab is off the rail, ranging up into second, halftime, 59-4. Off the turn and down the backstretch, Expensive Ab with the nose in front of Power Stroke. That pair has opened up 2.5 lengths on Homegrown in third, who is 2 clear of Tricked Again in fourth. Fred Johnson underway the outside fifth with 4 to make up. Especially Rare looks to swing to the outside. Doesn't have that much pace, though. Alongside is Firebird, followed by Talented Sam. Pair of trailers are Red Energy and Shad Valley. They're approaching the 3/4, and Power Stroke battles back to reclaim a very narrow lead over Expensive Ab. Just in behind, Fred Johnson got a bit rough there with Homegrown at the rail. 3/4 in 1:28-4. Around to the head of the stretch. Power Stroke on the inside, Expensive Ab on the outside. They continue to do battle, and now Fred Johnson is in gear again and ranging up 3 wide. Homegrown just in behind, followed by Firebird as they drive through the final 8 mile. Fred Johnson way out wide, Expensive Ab, Homegrown at the rail with Power Stroke. It's Fred Johnson a narrow lead, and Fred Johnson is now slowly edging away to win it over Expensive Ab and Power Stroke third. Fred Johnson victorious in his debut. He's a 3-year-old brown colt by Shannon Traffic out of Lajoka by Thrifty Kirk. Owned by Bob Griffith of Georgetown, Kentucky. Robert Burns trains. Trent Tharps, the winning driver, in 1:59. 5:10 exact is $69 even. Try 5:10-1, 134 even. Race 1 is Makina's Victory. She's owned by Mark Larwood with Bob Harper driving. 2 action photos owned by Conrad and Schnaut, Jack Daly. 3 is Triumph Over owned by the Hatfield Stables, Bud Hatfield in the bike. 4 is Real Grab owned and driven by Ken Grogan. 5 is 5 Diamonds owned by Randy Owens with Mike Wilder. 6 JR is owned by Snelling in the Seville Farm, Terry Holton. 7 is Out. 8 is Silky Sue owned by Marcia Miller with Jeff Smith. 9 I Got a Plan is owned by Pagden, Breeze, and Sibler. Frank Todd Jr. and the 10 is Urgent, owned by Daniel Meyer with Dave Hawk. 7 minutes. And they're off. Action Photos is off stride. It's Silky Sue from the outside with Makina's Victory at the rail. Gap with 2 lengths back. Triumph Over third to the inside of Real Grab in fourth. 3 deep, 5 Diamonds in fifth. 6 lengths back, and we come to Urgent, followed by Action Photos, who's trying to get back on gate. JR moves up alongside, and about 10 lengths back to the trailer. I Got a Plan. Racing around the far turn to the top of the stretch, and Jeff Smith leads the way with Silky Sue. It's Silky Sue by 2. The 2-year-old filly Makina's Victory races in the pocket second. Triumph Over is third. Real Grab is fourth. 5 Diamonds is fifth. Opening quarter in 30 2/5. Passing the stands for the first time. On top of the field, it's Silky Sue. Silky Sue, the long shot, leads the way by a pair. Tracked by McKenna's Victory in second. It's 2 back to Triumph over third. Real Grab is racing in fourth. 5 Diamonds looks to pull to the outside in fifth. Does so now and kind of forces action. Photos out 3 wide briefly. Then we come down to Urgent, who is 2 clear of JR, and 3 lengths back to I Got a Plan. Around the turn over to halftime, leading the way, it's Silky Sue. Silky Sue from McKenna's Victory. First over is Triumph over. Halftime in 1:02 and 3. Along the inside, Real Grab is racing a hemmed in fourth. Second over, 5 Diamonds is fifth. Third over, Action Photo sixth. Urgent looks to come off the rail and looks to swing to the outside there. Another length and a half farther back to JR. 2.5 more to I Got a Plan. Less than 3/8 remaining as they head for the far turn. It's Silky Sue by a length, trying to hold off a challenge from Triumph over, who's gaining ground just a bit on the outside second. McKenna's Victory is racing in third. 5 Diamonds is fourth. Urgent 7 off the tempo in fifth. And Action Photos is off stride again, 1:32 and 3. Around the far turn to the head of the stretch. It's a 3/4 length lead for Silky Sue. Triumph over continues to bear down on the outside second. McKenna's Victory is swinging 3 deep for the stretch drive. 5 Diamonds will try to tighten down, but has about 5 lengths to make up as they straighten up and drive through the final 8th mile. Silky Sue on the inside. Triumph over on the outside now takes the lead. McKenna's Victory is closing in. It's Triumph over. McKenna's Victory on the outside. Triumph over to win it. McKenna's Victory to go second and Silky Sue third. First win on the season for Triumph over, a 4-year-old bay gelding by Overcomer out of Proxy's Promise by Coleman Lobel. By the Hatfield Stables of Columbus, Terry Reeser trains, Bud Hatfield the winning driver in 2:02 and 4. Trophy in this one being presented by everyone with Franklin County MMRD joining us tonight at the races. Welcome to Scioto Downs. Here they are for the third. One is Sister Hazel, owned by Elephant Levesque. Sonny Levesque draws. 2 Fox Valley Lioness is owned by Pollock and Byrne, Mike Wilder. 3 Noble Misty is owned by Walter Allison with Dean Gillespie. 4 Scudin Cloud is owned by Dennis Ritz with Terry Groves. 5 CIKG is owned by the Hartley Farms with Ken Kaufman. 6 Brett the Sam is owned by Ken Ledford with Randy Tharbs. 7 Elegant Algon is owned by Williamson and Wilson. Roy Wilson drives. 8 is Miss Primrose, owned, trained, and driven by Bob Harper. 9 Flashing Stars, owned by Burkholder Enterprising, Jeff Smith. And the 10 is Cam Fiddle, owned by James, Boone, and Boone. Dave Hawk is in the bike. Post time now in less than 5 minutes. You have less than 5 minutes to post. Lining up in the backstretch, and there they go. And they're off. Scudin Cloud takes the lead from the center with Fox Valley Lioness to her inside. Noble Misty gets away well in third, followed by Sister Hazel in fourth by 2. Then we come down to Cam Fiddle, followed by CIKG, who takes a seat in 6th position. Another 2 lengths back to Brett the Sam, followed by Elegant Algon. Pair of trailers are Miss Primrose and Flashing Star. Around the turn to the top of the stretch for the first time, Scudin Cloud now joined by Fox Valley Lioness on the outside. She and Mike Wilder drive on. They take over the lead. Noble Misty back to third. Sister Hazel fourth by 2. Cam Fiddle and CIKG by the quarter in 28 and 4. Passing the stands for the first time, and it is 3-1 shot. Fox Valley Lioness leading the way. Fox Valley Lioness tracked by Scudin Cloud in second. Gap out 2 lengths. Noble Misty is third. Cam Fiddle underway the outside fourth. Sister Hazel hemmed in fifth. Brett the Sam moves with cover in sixth. Third over Elegant Algon. CIKG to the inside of Miss Primrose. Flashing Star is last. Heads turn for the half-mile pole with your leader, Fox Valley Lioness. Fox Valley Lioness from Scudin Cloud outside Cam Fiddle. Now just 2 lengths off the pace into third. Noble Misty back to fourth. Brett the Sam is second over in fifth. Third over is Elegant Elgant. Gapped out Sister Hazel with no racing room, followed by Miss Primrose, the IKG, and Flashing Star, 59 and 4 for the half. 3/8 out as they point for the far turn, and it's Fox Valley Lioness a half length in front. Cam Fiddle continues to apply heavy pressure on the outside second, and those two are now on even terms. Brett the Sam right there racing in third, looks to circle off cover. Scoot and Cloud is locked in racing in fourth. No racing room for Elegant Elgant. 3 wide Miss Primrose, 129 and 2. Around the far turn, and Cam Fiddle is wearing down Fox Valley Lioness, and soon we'll have Miss Primrose to contend with. Brett the Sam with racing room between horses. Elegant Elgant is 4 wide as they straighten up and drive for the wire. Leading the way, it's Cam Fiddle. Cam Fiddle on top by 2. Miss Primrose is closing in with Elegant Elgant on the far outside. It's Cam Fiddle. Here comes Elegant Elgant on the outside. Elegant Elgant lights up the board at 60 to 1. Tight for second, either Miss Primrose or Cam Fiddle. Back in the winner's circle is Elegant Elgant, third win of the season, 8-year-old daughter of Albert. Albert out of Elegant last by Radiant Ruler, owned by T.R. Williamson and R.G. Wilson of Ohio. Roy Wilson trains and drives, 2 minutes and 1/5. 7-8 exact to 1,098.80. $2 super, 7-8-10 all. That's 7-8-10 all, 7,412.20. Here they are for the fourth race. One is 9:05, owned by Cindy Swagler with Roy Wilson. 2 Look Beth is owned by Kovac and Parker. Ron Pollock drives. 3 is Trip Trap, owned by Terry Green with Bob Harper. 4 is Absolute Charm, owned by Ed Mullinax with Ricky McCumber. 5 is Town Radiance, owned by Darrow and Skolnick, Jeff Fout. 6 Magic Star is owned by Dorothy Robinson with Donald Robinson. 7 is Joyous Sabra, owned by Jane Garverick with Dave Hawk. And the 8 Marquee Event is owned by Carol Gamble. Dallas Miller does the driving, 7 minutes. And they're off. 5 Town Radiance is on a break. And it's Look Beth going right out for the lead. Look Beth opens up by 2. Trip Trap is second. Joyous Sabra on the outside. Gains ground early from third. Gap of 4 lengths back. Magic Star fourth. 9:05 is fifth. And then we come down to Absolute Charm, followed by Marquee Event. And far behind, trailing the field as they race around the far turn, that is Town Radiance. Over to the top of the lane for the first time, and Dave Hawk looks to take over with Joyous Sabra. It's Joyous Sabra leading the way past the quarter in 27 and 2. Passing the stands for the first time, Joyous Sabra leads the field by 2 lengths, with Look Beth in the pocket second. Length and a half more. Trip Trap is third, followed by Magic Star in fourth. Next in line, we have Absolute Charm to the outside in fifth. 2.5 lengths back to Marquee Event, who's underway with 6 to make up, and then 2 more lengths back to 9:05. As they race around the turn on their way to the half-mile pole. On top of the field, Joyous Sabra. Joyous Sabra, Look Beth, right there. Now a tighter second. Next in line, we come down to Trip Trap racing in third. Marquee Event, the outside, is rolling up in gear on the outside in fourth. And then it's Magic Star, followed by Absolute Charm, 9:05. And far back Town Radiance in 58 and 2. Down the backstretch, just over 3/8 out, Joyous Sabra continues to front the field with Look Beth nose to helmet in the pocket second. Marquee Event is just a length and a half off the pace, racing on the outside third. And now Magic Star picks up the cover and is second over on the outside in fourth. Trip Trap back to fifth. Third over is Absolute Charm in sixth. 5 more lengths back to 9:05, who's not doing enough. Far back Town Radiance in 128 and 4. Round the far turn to the top of the stretch is Joyous Sabra leading the way. Joyous Sabra by 2 lengths. Look Beth is second. Trip Trap is third. Marquee Event could not go on. Extreme outside is Magic Star as they bend off the turn and drive through the stretch. And Dave Hawk starts to get after Joyous Sabra. She responds. She kicks clear by 3. Along the inside, Look Beth is racing in second. Late close on the outside from Trip Trap, but it's going to be Joyous Sabra 3 lengths clear. Look Beth just holds second over the 3 Trip Trap third. $55 even. Back to the winner's circle is Joya Sabra, 2-year-old Bay Filly by David's Pass, out of Island Girl by BJ's Bunny. Owned and trained by Jane Garvick of Lexington, Kentucky. Dave Hawk, the winning driver, in 158-1. Trotters for the 5th race. Number 1 is Pierre Pan, owned by Jim and Patrick Duckworth with Randy Tharps. 2 Breakfast Buddies, owned by Grim and Dennison. Dave Hawk drives. 3 American Classic is owned by the Gates Mill Stable with Elliot Deaton. 4 E-Rail is owned by the Hatfield Stables with Bud Hatfield. 5 Sunshine Bell, owned by Weco Investments, Dallas Miller. 6 Jimin is owned by Terry Milhone. Mike Wilder drives. 7 is Carrie M, owned by Bobby Linden with Brad Henners. 8 is Docket, owned by Brandy Lamoth with Bob Harper. 9 Action Mac is owned and driven by Michael Roche. And the 10 Mahjong Bev is owned by Ira Christel with Jim Todd II. 6 minutes. Lining up for the 5th race. And they're off. 6, Jimin is off stride. Jimin is on a break. It's American Classic from between horses, who's out for the lead. Docket from the outside, looking to be well positioned early in 2nd, followed by Breakfast Buddy at the rail in 3rd. Next in line, Sunshine Bell looks to take a seat in 4th. And then we have Pierre Pan to the inside of Action Mac. Mahjong Bev is next in line, a length and a half clear of Carrie M. Then 5 lengths farther back to E-Rail, and about 20 lengths back to Jimin, who trails the field. Around to the top of the stretch for the first time, and Harper leads the way with Docket. It's Docket on top to the quarter in 29 1/5. Passing the stands for the first time, Docket by a length. Sunshine Bell on the outside driving on to challenge with American Classic sitting the pocket 3rd. Gap of 3 lengths farther back, and we have Breakfast Buddy in 4th. Action Mac on the outside, uncovered in 5th. Then it's Pierre Pan back to 6th. Mahjong Bev is racing in 7th and looks to swing to the outside. Is a length and a half clear of Carrie M, then 5 lengths back to E-Rail. Jimin is slowly catching the field and about 20 lengths off the tempo at this stage, but it's Docket on top with Sunshine Bell to her flank in 58-2. Identical splits, 29-1 in the 2nd quarter, off the turn and down the backstretch. Docket and neck in front. Sunshine Bell continues to press the issue on the outside 2nd. American Classic saves ground in 3rd. Breakfast Buddy swings to the outside 4th and is already going 3 wide. Then we have Pierre Pan, who's tightening down in 5th. Next to the outside, it's Mahjong Bev, followed by Carrie M, who shoots the gap. Next is Action Mac, 5 lengths back to E-Rail and about 10 lengths back to Jimin. Over to 3/4, Docket leads the way. Docket American Classic, 3 wide Pierre Pan. Carrie M works her way into 4th, 129-3. Round the far turn, Docket by a length. Pierre Pan is in gear, rolling up on the outside 2nd. American Classic is 3rd. Mahjong Bev on the outside. Carrie M swings off the rail as they trot through the final 8th mile, and Pierre Pan powers into the lead. It's Pierre Pan on top now by 2. Docket is off stride. Late trot from Mahjong Bev. Carrie M between horses, but it's Pierre Pan to win it. Mahjong Bev and Carrie M 3rd. A goal out of Dear Gesture by Noble Gesture, owned by James and Patrick Duckworth of Canal Winchester. Jim Duckworth trains. Randy Tharps the winning driver. First win of the season, mile up in 2 minutes and 2/5 for Pierre Pan. Six race field, 1 short a win by Wilson and Campbell, Jack Daly. 2 Anita Jean. The gate is rolling. Six race field lining up in the backstretch, and there they go. And they're off. Cam and Sam's Trick from the center takes the lead. Juanita Jean Tupp alongside is second. Sure to win is third. Gap at 3 lengths back. Watch the Pocket is racing in fourth. That one is to the inside of Bridal Falcon, who settles down fifth, 8 lengths off the lead. Gap at 2 lengths back to Badgett. Next in line, we come down to Nanny Lou, followed by Sweet Savannah, Scoot and Ashley, and Sweet Steel Gray is the trailer. Racing around to the head of the stretch for the first time, Dean Gillespie leads the way with Cam and Sam's Trick, a length and a half clear of Juanita Jean Tupp in 28 seconds flat. Passing the stands for the first time, Cam and Sam's Trick on the inside. Here's a challenge from Watch the Pocket on the outside, and Mike Wilder and Watch the Pocket take over the lead under the wire with 5/8 to go. Cam and Sam's Trick is back to second, followed by Juanita Jean Tupp in third. Bridal Falcon flying up on the outside in fourth. Nanny Lou follows that move in fifth, followed by Sure to Win back to sixth. Sweet Savannah is third over in the developing cover flow, racing in seventh position. As heads turn for the half-mile pole, it's Watch the Pocket on top, now joined by Bridal Falcon and Hawk on the outside, 58-4 for the half. Off the turn and down the backstretch, it's Watch the Pocket by a half a length. Bridal Falcon is coming on strong on the outside second. Nanny Lou is into third, flying 3 wide. Sweet Steel Gray from the back of the pack, 2 lengths off the pace in fourth. Cam and Sam's Trick is hemmed in, gapped out, racing in fifth. And then we come to Sweet Savannah, followed by Juanita Jean Tupp. Sure to Win is 2 lengths clear of Badgett, who is 3 clear of Scoot and Ashley. Approaching 3/4, Bridal Falcon into the lead. Nanny Lou takes up the chase in second. Outside Sweet Steel Gray is now 3 lengths off the pace in third, followed by Watch the Pocket, who drops back fourth, 127-4. Around to the top of the stretch, Bridal Falcon on the inside leads by a length. Nanny Lou looks to rally on the outside second, 3 lengths back, and we come to Watch the Pocket, followed by Sweet Steel Gray and Sweet Savannah. Approaching the final 16th, it's Bridal Falcon on top. Nanny Lou dips down to the inside, but they're not going to get to Bridal Falcon. Bridal Falcon, Nanny Lou to go second, and then it's going to be Watch the Pocket third. Back in the winner's circle is 3 Bridal Falcon. 3-year-old Bay filly by Falcon Almahurst out of St. Louis Blues by Royce. By Sharon Lane and Raymond Kenny of Ohio. Raymond Kenny, the winning trainer. Dave Hawk with a pair of wins tonight and a lifetime best for Bridal Falcon. The 7th race, 1 is Camden Radiant, owned by William Carruthers with Mike Wilder. 2 is Pierre Hellion, owned by Moment Pour and Chamier, Sean McAleese. 3 10cc's, owned by Collins, Almond and Collins, Dean Collins. 4 Tangy Man is owned by Payne, and Daly, Jim Daly. 5 JD Shadow is owned by Ken Ledford with Dave Hawk. 6 Raven Under Glass, owned by David Merrick with Brad Henners. 7 is Tommy Lee Smith's RW's Out of Towner and Jeff Fout. 8 is Flaming Sabra, owned by Donald Lutz with Mike McNabb. 9 is TNT Hanover, owned by Beverly Bushelman with Randy Tharps. And the 10 is Sharp Steve, owned by John Perrin. The driver will be Del S. Miller. 6 minutes until post time. Up in the backstretch for the 7th race. And they're off. 10cc's. There goes JD Shadow from the center. Tangy Man gets away in third. Up on the outside, Flaming Sabra is fourth. Length and a quarter back to Camden Radiant, who is a length and a half clear of Sharp Steve, followed by Pierre Hellion. TNT Hanover is up on the outside looking for a seat. Then it's Raven Under Glass, and RW's Out of Towner is last, 15 lengths off the pace. Racing around to the head of the stretch, it's JD Shadow leading the way. JD Shadow from 10cc's, Tangy Man, and Flaming Sabra in 28 seconds flat. Passing in front of the stands for the first time, it's Dave Hawk leading the way with J.D. Shadow. J.D. Shadow leads them under the wire with 5/8 to go. 10cc's in the pocket second. Flaming Sabra the outside third. Tangy Man is back to fourth. Camden Radiant moving with the cover again on the outside in fifth. Third over racing in sixth is Sharp Steve, followed by Pure Hellion at the rail as they race around the turn on their way to the half-mile pole. On top, it's J.D. Shadow. J.D. Shadow to a half in 58 seconds flat. Off the turn and down the backstretch, J.D. Shadow by a length. with Flaming Sabra up on the outside to challenge in second. 10cc's a ground-saving third. Second over Camden Radiant racing in fourth. Tangy Man back to fifth. Third over Sharp Steve is 6 by 3. Then we come to Pure Hellion. RW's Out of Towner is trying to rally from the back of the pack. Raven Under Glass is second last, and TNT Hanover is the back marker as they approach three quarters. And on the inside, JD Shadow comes to terms with Flaming Sabra. They're together in 1:26 and 4. Around the far turn, JD Shadow, Flaming Sabra, Camden Radiant is 3 wide for the drive. 10cc's awaits the passing lane. Tangy Man needs racing room, and Sharp Steve is forced out 4 wide as they straighten up and drive for the wire. JD Shadow, narrow lead. 10cc's is flying along the inside. Flaming Sabra the outside with Tangy Man. It's 10cc's to the front, and 10cc's will win it. Tangy Man up for second and Flaming Sabra third. Back to the winner's circle is number 3, 10cc's, a 4-year-old bay horse by Big C's out of How About 10 by Brad Hanover, owned by Collins, Almond, and Collins of Ohio, Florida, and Ohio. Dean Collins trains and drives 1:56 and 3. Lifetime best for 10cc's. .680, try 348, 2004, 3640. No win is in the twin try. The 8th race, 1 is Good Going Camel by Dale Horney with Mike Wilder. 2 is Impatient Falcon, owned by Kruger and Morlock, Brad Headers. 3 Mumbo is owned by Owens, Ravello, and Shingledecker, Jeff Fout drives. 4 Here's a Winner, owned by Connie Peterman with Terry Groves. 5 is Movin', owned by George Sharp with Randy Tharps. 6 Future Con, owned by Jonathan Edwards, Elliot Eaton drives. 7 Determined is owned by Philip Lyons with Jim Daly. 8 is Sober Sam by Woodall and Mays, Dave Hawk. 9 Rushing Call by Robert Garnett with Bob Harper. And the 10 is Pipe, owned by Jerry Lee Decker with Walter Ferguson Jr. 6 minutes until post. Is rolling. And they're off. Determined jumped up into the air, now trails the field. It's Future Con out for the lead. Driving up on the outside, Rushing Call into second position. Good Going Cam is third. Length and a quarter back to Movin' Racing in fourth. Then it's Sober Sam who looks to settle in fifth. Next in line, we come down to Impatient Falcon, followed by Pipe. And then we have Mumbo, gap out 2.5 lengths back to Here's a Winner. The trailer is Determined. Racing around to the head of the lane, Future Con leads the way from Rushing Call. Good Going Cam is on the move early, third on the outside. 27 and 2 for the opening quarter. Passing the stands for the first time, and it's Future Con strong on the lead. Future Con forces Good Going Cam to drop into the pocket. Rushing Call was gapped and now races in third, leaving Movin' uncovered the outside fourth. 4 lengths farther back, and we come down to Sober Sam, followed by Impatient Falcon. Pipe is up on the outside, racing around the turn on the way to the half-mile pole. Leading the way, it's Future Con. Future Con has the lead, 3 parts of a length. Moving to his flank in second, 55 and 4 for the half. Just in behind, Good Going Cam is just off the pace, racing in third. Length and a half, Rushing Call is fourth. Gap of 4 more lengths to Impatient Falcon, who passes Sober Sam, who's not doing enough. He's taking Pipe right out of the race, and then it's Mumbo, and Here's a Winner. Far back trailing the field is Determined. Approaching 3 quarters, leading the way, it's Movin'. Movin's on top 2.5 lengths now. Future Con is dropping back in second, followed by Rushing Call, who's gaining ground in third. Good Going Cam now needs racing room. He's hemmed in and getting backed up as well in fourth position. Impatient Falcon looks to rally with 7 to make up. 1:25 and 1. Around to the top of the stretch, and this is Movin'. He has opened up a 5-length advantage on this field. Future Con, Impatient Falcon is 3 wide. Rushing Call could not go on. Good Going Cam needs the passing lane, driving through the final 8th mile. And it's Movin' on top, Movin' by 5. Impatient Falcon is closing in second. Late pace Mumbo, and Here's a Winner from the back of the pack, but it's going to be Movin' to win it by 4. Impatient Falcon second and Mumbo third. $, even. Double tonight for Randy Tharps. This time he scores with George Sharp's Movin', a 4-year-old bay horse by Tudor Scooter out of Peachy Nuke by Oil Burner, conditioned by Josh Green. Movin' in 1:56 and 2, second win on the season.
Owned, trained, and driven by Arcanum's Kane Kaufman. Number 2 is Knockout Fella, owned by Ken Berger of Greenville, Ohio, trained by Myron Coaster. Jeff Neisonger is up. Number 3 is Fritzy Bow, owned by Pamela Davis and Andrew J. King. They're both of the Buckeye State, trained by Richard Schultz. Randy Tharps aboard. Number 4 is J.C. Sam, owned and trained by David C. Lowe of Mechanicsburg, Ohio. Brad Hanners is up. The 5, Look Pow, is Scratch Sick. Number 6 is Magic Tongue, owned by Tom Wilson and Alvin Long of Ohio, trained by Alvin Long. Jeff Smith aboard. Number 7 is Broadway Chaperone, by Don and Virginia Mays of Pleasant Plain, Ohio, trained by Daryl Hoosier with Mike Wilder. Number 8 is Wild Red Reed, by Dan and Earl Ader of Clarksburg, Ohio, trained by Dan Ader. Kyle Ader is up. From the outside of the 9 is Sandstone Hanover, owned and trained by John Lee of Bedford, Ohio. Dave Hawk is up. And from off the second tier, the 10 is It's Carl Again, by the Turbulent Air Incorporated of Beaver, Ohio, trained by Carl Harness. Bob Harper is in the sulky. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing, firing for the lead. Middle of the racetrack, there goes the 4, J.C. Sam. From the inside, Nuclear Eclipse. Driving up on the outside, 3 wide, that's Sandston Hanover. As they roll around the first turn and move towards the opening 8. From the outside, there's the 4, J.C. Sam. Now clinging to the lead from the outside. Here's the 9, Sandston Hanover, and Hawk claims command. As they roll around the first turn, Sandston Hanover and Dave Hawk with the lead here by a length and a quarter. J.C. Sam is yielding second, but comes to the outside as they move by the opening quarter in a quick 27 4/5. Passing the stands, heading on down to the half. On top of the field from the outside, J.C. Sam is trying to clear to the front to the inside. Sandston Hanover won't let him go that easily. Up on the outside, Wild Red Reed. Looks like he'll be taking the whole mile in third. Second over on the outside, racing fourth now, that's Broadway Chaperone. Nuclear Eclipse is racing 5. Racing 6, that's Knockout Fella. 7th is the 10, It's Carl Again. 8 to the outside here, that's Fritzy Bow. And 9th and trailing the field is Magic Tongue. Rolling around the turn to the halfway mile mark of the race and on top of the field, J.C. Sam took him a half and 57 2/5. Out of the turn and down the back stretch. Your slight favorite at 2-1, J.C. Sam leads it by a neck. Up on the outside, racing in second as they move down the backside. That's Wild Red Reed. He's flanked this leader in 2. Inside, racing third here, that's Sandston Hanover. Second over the outside, racing 4. That's Broadway Chaperone. Shuffled back, racing 5. That's Nuclear Eclipse. Third over, racing 6. That's Knockout Fella. They approach the 3/4 mile mark of the race and on top of the field from the inside. J.C. Sam takes him to 3/4 in 1:26 4/5. Wild Red Reed to the outside. He's relentless, but beginning to back up now in second. Inside racing third. That is Sandston Hanover swinging up 3 wide. Here comes Knockout Fella with a rush as they turn to the top of the stretch. Less than an 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come. J.C. Sam to the inside of the middle of the racetrack. Outside, here comes Knockout Fella, and Knockout Fella is surging into the outside as they come to the wire. Knockout Fella and Jeff Neisonger is going to get up to win this handily here, drawing away by 2 in 1:56 flat. Finishing second was the 4, J.C. Sam. Hanging on for third was the 8, Wild Red Reed. Knockout Fella. An 8-year-old bay gelding by a brand new fella out of a round 3. She by Seahawk Hanover. Is owned by Ken Berger of Greenville, Ohio, trained by Myron Coaster. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Jeff Neisonger, who records his first win of the 2000 Scioto Downs meet. Second win of the campaign for Knockout Fella here in 2000. Home winner in 1:56 flat, just a 5th off of his lifetime mark. 2487 is now official. 24 exacta, 108.60. 248 trifecta, $1,105.40. Owned and trained by John Eckstein of Lewis Center, Ohio. Randy Tharps is up. Number 2 is Zach Sam by Samuel Adkins of West Jefferson, Ohio, trained by Alex Spence. Brad Hanners aboard. Number 3 is Caviar Boston by Judith and Clarence Chafee Jr. of Vienna, Virginia, trained by Jim Artledge Jr., Dallas Miller. The 4 is Rhinestone Magic, owned and trained by Doug L. Ryan of Howard, Ohio. Dave Hawk is up. The 5 is Camden Court by the Enviro Stables Limited of New York, New York, trained by the Virgil Morgan Jr., Mike Wilder at the lines. The 6 is J.R. Ritchie by Ruth Kelly Barnes of Mount Sterling, Ohio, trained and driven by Justin Hall. Number 7, He's a Bandit by Roger and Luana Hall of Utica, Ohio, trained by Eric Hall. Tom Hall is up. The 8 is Just Plain Johnny by Brandon Sonny Levesque of Beaver Creek, Ohio, and Arnie Aliff of Fairborn, Ohio, trained and driven by Sonny Levesque. From the outside of the 9 is In the Other, owned and trained by John Lee of Bedford, Ohio. Jeff Fowd is up, and scoring from off the second tier, the 10 is He Got the Stop by Wilmer Nepp of Montgomery, Indiana, trained and driven by Rex Watson in the sulky. bearing for the lead. Middle of the racetrack, there goes the 4, Rhinestone Magic. Right alongside from the outside, that's J.R. Ritchie. From the inside, that's Zach Sam as they roll around the first turn. Coming away fourth, that's Caviar Boston. He's a bandit, hung to the outside 5. 6th is Just Plain Johnny. 7th here is Camden Court. 8th is He Got the Stuff. 9th is In the Other. And 10th and trailing the field way back here, that's Sam's Music. Around the first turn and over to the opening quarter. And on top of the field, Rhinestone Magic and Hawk with the lead here. And they open up in a quick 27 2 fast. Passing the stand for the first time, heading on down to the half. On top of the field, a Rhinestone Magic. The 3-year-old Brown Gelding by Look Sharp leads it here, but up on the outside, here's Zach Sam and Henners to take under the wire with 5/8 to go. And along the inside, racing second, Rhinestone Magic will yield for a Garden Spot Trip. Racing second, Caviar Boston is racing third. Fourth is J.R. Ritchie. First over the outside, 5. That's Camden Court. Following that cover, second over the outside, 6. That's In the Other. 7th is He's a Bandit. 8th is Just Plain Johnny. 9th is He Got the Stuff. And 10th and trailing the field, still rough gated. Here is Sam's Music. They're halfway home in 57 3/5. The second quarter in 30 1. And out of the turn and down the backside they go. Nearing the 3/4 mile mark of the race and on top of the field, Zach Sam, the 3-year-old Bay Gelding by Noble Sam, leads it here by length in 3 parts. Up on the outside, Camden Court and Wilder is first over the outside, racing in 2. Rhinestone Magic down along the inside is third. In the Other, Perfect Trip, second over the outside, racing 4th. 5th at the rail is Caviar Boston. They're at the 3/4 mile mark of the race with Zach Sam taking them to 3/4, 126 2 fast. They'll pace the final turn and head on home. Zach Sam with the lead, but Camden Court, your 4 to 5 favorite, is right at his wheel disc in second. Rhinestone Magic is racing third, ready to flip 3 wide for the stretch drive. That's In the Other, turning to the top of the stretch. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and down to the stretch they come, and Zach Sam, he's under urging. Camden Court to the outside. In the Other, swings up 3 wide to the outside. Here's Rhinestone Magic as they drive to the wire. It's going to be Zach Sam and Henners to the inside. In the Other, at the wire, Zach Sam hangs on to win it. Time of the mile, 1:55 4/5. It was close for second and third. Photo for Place and Show by Mr. Brad Henners. Posting the third win of his career, home a winner at 1:55 4/5, establishing a new lifetime mark. Number 2, Zach Sam and Brad Henners. Two for exacta, $100. The rail, the 1 is JBL Sid. The lessee is Angela Barker of Chillicothe, Ohio, trained by Ron Barker. Justin Hall is up. The 2 is It's Do or Die by John and Fran Eckstein of Lewis Center, Ohio, trained by John Eckstein with Jeff Fout, the driver. Number 3 is Nukes Express by Vernon Byers Jr. of Mechanicsburg, Ohio, trained by James Byers, Randy Tharps at the lines. Number 4 is Tombola Bamba by Tammy Ackley of London, Ohio, trained by Leo Groves. K. Dean Gillespie is up. The 5 is Gotta Go Johnny by Gwen Thompson of Piketon, Ohio, trained and driven by TT Terry Thompson Jr. Number 6 is Pacific Penis by the Cool Million Stables of Dayton, Ohio, trained and driven by the K-Man. Kane Kaufman is up. The 7 is Indian Winter by Eddie Blair of Paintsville, Kentucky, trained by Jeff Brewer. Mike Wilder is at the lines. The 8 is Alaskan Civil Run, owned and trained and driven by Ruth Haynes of New Holland, Ohio. Scratch the 9 Beret. And number 10 is Falcon Jackson by Howard Jackson of DeGraff, Ohio, trained by Rhonda Patrick. Bob Harper is in the sulky. Field in motion. They're off and pacing, firing for the lead, the middle of the racetrack. There goes the 5, Gotta Go Johnny, right alongside of the 6 Pacific Penis. And along the inside, that's Do or Die coming away third. Racing fourth here, that's the 7 Indian Winner, who's driving up. 5th along the rail, that is JBL Sit. Coming away 6th, Falcon Jackson. 7th up on the outside, that is Nukes Express. 8th here as they roll around the first turn and over to the opening quarter-mile mark. That's Tombola Bamba. Rolling to the opening quarter and from the outside, Pacific Penis and the K-Man looking for the front end here. Now gets control of the racetrack. Opening panel on a quick 28 1/5. Passing the stand for the first time, heading on down to the half. Pacific Penis with the lead, but It's Do or Die. Now ranging up to take the lead. It's Do or Die and Fout with the lead here by length and a half. Under the wire with 5/8 to go. Pacific Penis and the K-Man. Garden Spot Trip racing second. Gotta Go Johnny is racing third. 4th here, that's the 7 Indian Winner. Swinging to the outside, parked every step in 5th. That is the 3 Nukes Express. 6th along the rail here, that's JBL Sid, Falcon Jackson, and Tombola Bamba. And trailing the field here, that's Alaskan Civil Run. Halfway home, 58 1/5, and even 30 seconds on that second split. Out of the turn and down the backside, nearing the 3/4 mile mark of the race. On top of the field with the lead, It's Do or Die. Leads the way here by length and a half. Now mounting a challenge on the outside, racing second. That is Indian Winner, who's at the leader's wheel disc in 2. Pacific Penis along the rail is watching over the dueling leaders from 3rd. Second over on the outside, racing 4th, not snagging that cover. That's Nukes Express. Gotta go, Johnny is racing 5. 6th is JBL Sid. 7th to the outside here, Falcon Jackson. 8th is Tom Alabama. 9th and trailing the field is Alaskan Civil Run. 3/4 and 128 flat. 29 and 4 on the 3rd quarter. Around the final turn they go. On top of the field with the lead here as they turn to the top of the stretch. It's Do or Die, and he's kicked clear by 3. Along the rail, Pacific Penis is racing second. Up on the outside, racing third. That's the 7 Indian Win. As they turn to the top of the stretch, less than a 16th of a mile to go now, and down the stretch they come onto the inside. It's Do or Die has opened up and drawn away from this field. It's an absolute rocking chair drive for Fout. It's Do or Die, finishing second. Indian Winner, 3rd of the mile, Pacific Penis. It was close for 4th. Time of the mile, 1:57. Trackside to winner's circle. Here's the 2. It's Do or Die. A 6-year-old bay gelding by Die Laughing out of Ariba Bunny. She by BG's Bunny. It's owned by John C. and Fran J. Eckstein of Lewis Center, Ohio. Trained by John Eckstein with Jeff Fout, the winning driver. Posting the 3rd win of the 2000 campaign. Number 2, it's Do or Die in Jeff Fout, home a winner, gate to wire.